Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am confused and I hope that you can help me out. And I'm going to show you towards the end of this video how it is that I can see that food is not going to get any cheaper, at least for next year, and more than likely the next year after that. The USDA cuts US corn, soybean, wheat ending stocks. You know, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I think. I think that in the beginning of the year, when these large companies, the wholesalers, the ones that buy the grain from the farmers, when they make their contracts, which are really futures contracts, they tell the farmers, hey, we're going to pay you this much for corn. We're going to pay you this much for wheat. And then they sign a contract, and no matter whether the price goes up or down, that's what the farmer gets stuck with, paying them, getting paid that much for whatever it is that they agreed on. So in the beginning of the year, almost every year that I've been covering this, the USDA comes out and says, yes, we're going to have a great year. Everything looks great, right? And then towards the end of the year, they then revise it, and it's usually less than what they said. What does it do to the price of something when there's less of it? The price goes up, right? And who makes that money? Well, it's not the farmer. It's not the person that already made the contract, because they made the contract back when, you know, things were looking great. There's going to be so much corn, there's going to be so much wheat that it's not going to cost as much. So this is how much we're going to pay you. But then at the end of the year, when everything's harvested and they tally up all their numbers, oh, it seems that, you know, there was a lot less than what we were anticipating. So the price is going to go up. And our ending stocks, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, are becoming dangerously low. But let's read on real quick. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to read a few parts, and I'm going to leave the link to this article and the other ones that I share with you on a pinned comment so that you can revisit it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't get scammed in the comments, right? In the comments, do not get scammed. Towards the end of this video, I will leave a short clip showing you how it is that you can avoid from getting scammed for people that are going on there, or bots or whatever it is, that are acting like they are me when they are not, asking you to send them money or asking you to call them or text them or whatever, okay? But let's read on. It says here, the USDA has lowered ending stock projections for U.S. corn, soybean, and wheat. Don't you remember towards the beginning of this year or of last year how everything was looking good, that everything was going to be a-okay? Well, corn was reduced slightly, and I like how they say slightly here. It was reduced to 1.242 billion bushels on a 200 million bushel cut. So it was reduced by 200 million bushels, and they're calling that something small, right? In the 2022 production figure, which was particularly canceled out by, listen to this, which was particularly canceled out by reduced expectations for food, feed, and export demand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part that confuses me the most. Listen to this. It was canceled out by reduced expectations for food, okay, feed, and export demand. Now, I think that the price of food in the last year, just last year alone, 2022, has gone up considerably. If you have chickens, has feed gone up last year? If you have cattle, has the price of feed gone up? So they're saying that the expectations for food, feed, and export demand have gone down. So they're like, okay, it doesn't matter that we have a reduced harvest of 200 million bushels. Have you seen how many countries out there are being projected to be starving here by the end of this year? Now, let me show you this really quick, ladies and gentlemen. This is for those people out there that think that all of these restrictions on fossil fuels, energy, I know some people get upset when I call it fossil fuels, energy, that it's great. Oh, we're going to save the planet. Well, here, this is what these restrictions are doing. This is what these policies are doing. Look at this. Countries that require external assistance for food. This is what it's doing. You see all of these? These are all countries that need food. These are all countries that have people in them that are starving. This is what those policies represent, ladies and gentlemen. So when you think, oh, I'm okay because I can get everything that I need right now. I can just go to the supermarket and get it. It may cost a little bit more, but it's here to save the planet. That's why our masters are inducing all of these policies upon us, we the people, while they eat their steak, while they travel in their jets and produce more CO2 than households produce in a whole year just in 1 or 2 trips. These are the people that are being affected by those policies. It's not just about how much we pay for food. It's about how many people are going to be starving around the world because of these policies. A person from the IMF is saying that there is a looming food crisis. This is from September of last year. Okay, it says FAO's Maximo Torrero Cullen discusses how global food supply difficulties could tip into a full-blown catastrophe. But here the USDA is saying that it's okay that we produce less because we don't have to export as much because there's just no need. At least that's how I took it. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. Please send me an email. If I'm wrong on that, on how I read that part about the USDA saying, yeah, we're going to have less exports, so it's okay that we grew less. When here the IMF is saying that there's going to be more than 1 billion, almost 2 billion people who are going to be hungry and food insecure this year. Because of high natural gas prices, rising food prices could make a difference between life or death for millions of people around the world. But that's okay. That nasty little natural gas that they want to stop us from using, that stuff, produces CO2 or methane or whatever it is that it produces. It's not good for the earth, right? So let's go ahead and starve 1.7 billion people. I know I'm being a little facetious and sarcastic, but it just ticks me off that people decide to go along with this climate stuff instead of allowing us to grow the food that farmers know how to grow. Farmers know what they're doing. They don't need any intervention. Just let them do their job. They love doing it. They do it well. They've been doing it for generations. Get the heck out of the way so that people don't have to starve to death. And that's what we're looking at. But if you live in one of these first world countries, like here in the United States, a lot of people don't see that. They don't see people starving. They don't see people living day to day, living on 1 pint or a few ounces of wheat per day, just surviving. But if it's good for the planet, it's good for me because I live here and I have everything that I need. Sure, the price went up a little bit, but I can handle the prices going up a little bit as long as it saves the planet. Have you ever taken a look at a picture of the Earth next to the picture of the sun, right? As far as it being in scale. Have you ever taken a look at that? The Earth is like a little pebble compared to the sun. Do you think that maybe the sun has a little bit, just a little bit to do with global warming? And that it's not you? And that we can use all the natural gas, all the coal, whatever. Sure, pollution is pollution, but pollution is not the same as what they're saying that is causing global warming. It's not the same thing. Pollution is pollution of the rivers, making your health bad. Global warming is making the Earth's health bad at your hands, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're telling us, that it is your fault. But it's okay that we cut off all of this energy, that we cut off all of the coal to produce energy and to produce the things that we need, like fertilizer from natural gas, and let 1.7 billion people starve. Why? Because we have to save the planet. When in fact the planet's been here for 4.5 billion years, it'll be here for another 4.5 billion years, if not longer than that, until our magnificent sun, that little star that nobody wants to blame for the Earth's climate, goes away. But anyways, I knew that I was going to get into a rant about this because it ticks me off when just a few people around the world make policy that affect billions. And going further down, I'm just highlighting some of the parts that I find interesting. Again, you can come and revisit it again. Here, the interviewer asks, what are your main concerns if this war in Eastern Europe continues? And he says, if the war continues in 2022 and 23, we could potentially have a food access problem coupled with a food availability problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just access to the food, but the food actually being available. Scarcity, something I've been talking about. And I would say that it's not 100% because of this war that's going on, but because of the policy that have been implemented and the sanctions and all of those things that go with it, along with the war on fossil fuels, i.e. the war on energy that most governments are undertaking today. Now take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the USDA. This is like the ending stock from the last year and then the prediction for next year. So I want you to take a look at this right here from 2021, 2022. Right? Beginning stocks, 845, and that's in millions of bushels. So we had a beginning stock in 2021 of 841 millions of bushels. And then the production was 1646. So when you add these two together, that's how much we had, along with the imports, which we had 95 million bushels. So the total supply was 2587. Right, so 2587 million bushels. Now let's take a look at demand. The demand is right here, and it categorizes what it's being used for. And this is for wheat. And this is the only example I use, but you can look this up for like corn, soybean, and all that stuff. So the demand altogether is going to be 1917. Now this was 2122, which gave us an ending stock of 669. Right, so 669 million bushels, that's how much we had left over after everything was said and done, after production, after exports, after whatever it is that they use it for, okay? So that 669 carries over to 2022, 2023, all right, 669. I'm just going to go ahead and take it over to December because this is November. So December 2022, 2023, here's 669 is what we started with this year, actually, like January of 2023 is how much we started with as far as our carryover. As far as our extra, you can consider that 669 number our preps. Is what we've got put behind that we didn't need after we harvested everything that we harvested, right? And imported whatever we imported. So the total supply is 2439. We'll take a look at the total use, 1868. Ending stock 571, considerably less than 669. And the price tells you it, 763 per bushel right here in 2021-22, and now it's $9.10. Right, so this is an input cost. It's a lot higher than what it was last year, and next year is going to be even higher because we are going to have less of a carryover. Now take a look at this. One last thing. We have a carryover of 571 million bushels. In 1 year, we use, let's see, what's our total use in 1 year is 1868. That's less than 30%. Our carryover is less than 30% of what we use in 1 year. That's almost the same thing as saying, if we bring it down to the personal level, it's almost the same thing as saying that you have about 2.5 to 3 months worth of food storage. What if something happens that keeps us from being able to grow food for a year? Just like happened all the way back, I forget the year, all right, I think it was Krakatoa, I forget the year, and the volcano that went off that gave us a year without a summer, where many people perished because they starved to death because there was no production of food for a full year. See what I mean? Our ending stock is getting lower, our prices are getting higher. I hope you get something out of this, and I hope that you're preparing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're preparing because you're going to need your preps, just like I'm going to need my preps. Having said that, I hope to put this video up prior to then, but I will be having a live stream with the Funky Prepper. If you haven't seen the notification, it's on the community tab, so that you can go check it out if you like after our live stream. And I will also be having a live stream today here, 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you there. Other than that, I hope that you had a great week, and God bless all of you. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Take a look at the top message right here. That is not me. Now take a look at this one here in the bottom. This is me. And you will notice that next to my thumbnail, not only is my name kind of like highlighted in gray or black, but it also has a check mark next to it. I'm going to leave this short message in the beginning of every one of my videos. That way people don't get scammed anymore.